I need to tell you a brutal truth. Most people are destined to be poor their entire lives. This isn't hype or anxiety mongering. Look closely at the people around you. Many work diligently for a decade or more. Their salaries inch up a little, yet savings don't grow and debt keeps piling on. They're constantly busy, but somehow always worried about money. Today, we'll take a close look at the wealthy habits. The author, Thomas Corley, spent 5 years studying the daily routines of 177 self-made millionaires and 128 ordinary people who struggled around the poverty line. He discovered a decisive difference. Wealthy people simply have different habits than you. They do things we don't, and they avoid things we do every day. This video may be one of the most important in your viewing history. I will walk you through the book in depth and give you 3 wealth-building habits you can start using immediately. Bookmark and rewatch this, because it can help you break the vicious cycle of being busy but poor. Let's get to the point. We said the gap between rich and poor stems from a gap in habits. So what exactly are habits? The author offers a fresh perspective. Habits are not decisions you continually make. They are your unconscious autopilot. What does that mean? For example, when you wake up, do you brush your teeth first or check your phone? After work, do you exercise for half an hour or collapse on the couch and binge shows? These actions require little conscious thought. You do them automatically. That's a habit. Corley found that as much as 40% of our daily behavior is habit-driven, not decision-driven. That's the scary part. You think you're steering your life, but your habits are quietly steering your destiny. One case in the book gave me chills. The author tracked a regular office worker named Mike. His alarm goes off at 6:30. He scrolls social media for 15 minutes with half-closed eyes before getting up, listens to pop music on his commute, and at work responds to whichever email or message pops up first. He always feels busy but can't recall what he actually accomplished. After work, he's exhausted, orders takeout, and watches short videos late into the night. He feels drained and constantly short of money but doesn't know why. The author's analysis showed Mike's days are packed with habits that produce poverty, procrastination, too much entertainment, spending more than investing, no goals. Contrast this with a self-made millionaire in the study. He wakes at 5, spends an hour reading professionally relevant books, listens to industry podcasts or audiobooks on the commute. And the first thing at work isn't email, but listing his top 3 priorities and tackling them first. He eats dinner with family, spends 30 minutes reviewing the day's work and learning, and is in bed by 11. His days are dominated by wealthy habits, continuous learning, focus, health, and reflection. One day's difference seems small, but over 5 or 10 years, the gap becomes enormous. Your habits are your class. Becoming wealthy isn't like winning the lottery overnight. It's like planting a tree. The best time was 10 years ago. The next best time is now. So stop blaming lack of money or time. From today, examine your autopilot and steer it toward wealth. Starting to rethink your daily life? Hold on, that was just the first point. The second point is the real game changer. It determines whether you are a slave to time or the master of it. We established that habits your autopilot shape your financial fate. The critical follow-up. I know good habits matter, but I can't stick to them. I get tired after 3 days of running. I fall asleep after 5 minutes of reading. This is where the book blew my mind. The author says most people rely on willpower to form habits, while the wealthy rely on system design. Willpower is a finite resource and will run out, so relying on grit alone is destined to fail. Wealthy people are smarter. They design environments and processes that make failure unlikely. The book outlines 4 core wealthy habits. Let's break them down and see how to use design, not willpower, to make them stick. You might say you know reading is good but don't have time or can't concentrate. Corley's data shows 88% of wealthy people read at least 30 minutes each day, focusing on 3 types of books: history divided by biography, self-improvement, and professional development. They don't read for entertainment but to gain knowledge and spark thinking. How do they design this habit? One millionaire described placing books within arm's reach in the living room, by the sofa, on the bedside table, even in the bathroom, and setting replacement rules. The time they once spent scrolling at night is now reading time. He starts with only 10 minutes each evening and gradually increases. He doesn't force himself with willpower. He designs an environment and a tiny, easy-to-achieve goal to begin. 76% of wealthy people do at least 30 minutes of aerobic exercise daily. Exercise isn't just for health, it oxygenates the brain, releases endorphins, and boosts energy and mood. Do they have more time? No, they simply prioritize differently. They don't say, I'll exercise after I finish work. They schedule workouts on the calendar as immovable appointments. You can design this too. Pack your gym bag and leave it by the office door so you head straight to the gym after work, or commit to a friend so social accountability keeps you going. Make the environment and plan work for you. This is perhaps the most powerful habit. 80% of wealthy people concentrate intensely on one primary goal. They don't just think about goals abstractly, they make them specific and visible. Instead of, I want to be rich, they define, I will save 1 million for a down payment in 3 years. Then break that into daily tasks. Each day they ask, did what I did today bring me one step closer? This ensures daily actions build toward the future, not merely erase the past. Wealthy people plan the future and review the past. They spend 15-20 minutes each day reflecting on what went well and what can improve. This habit is bound to a bedtime ritual. After showering, sit at your desk and write 3 notes in a fixed notebook: today's success, today's lesson, and one improvement for tomorrow. It's simple, but over time, the cumulative progress is astonishing. See? Wealthy people aren't born with iron discipline. They design systems that make mistakes unlikely. That design is the core lesson we must learn. If you think these habits are already useful, here's the third point, the real knockout. It determines whether your habits compound long-term and concerns your thinking and language. Ready for the ultimate secret? We dissected wealthy daily systems, but habits are rooted in mindset, and mindset is expressed through language. One of the deepest arguments in the book is that your language doesn't merely describe your life, it programs it. Poor people say things like, I can't afford it, I don't have time, I can't do it, or money is the root of all evil, rich people are no good. The author calls this restrictive language. Each time you say it, you program your brain with negative code, convincing yourself you are lacking and incapable. That filters out opportunities that could make you rich because you don't believe they exist, so you don't even see them. Wealthy people use proactive language. They turn, I can't afford it, into, how can I afford it? And I don't have time into, how do I reprioritize? Changing statements into questions is powerful. It shifts your brain from denial to solution mode and starts generating methods instead of excuses. The book shares a classic case. A client constantly complained his salary was low and insisted he would never get rich. The author told him not to say, I can't afford it, or I don't have money for a month, and instead force himself to say, how can I afford it? It felt awkward at first, but after a month, the man was ecstatic. By asking how, his mind suddenly generated ideas. He realized his PPT design skills were excellent and could be monetized by teaching night classes. He took the side gig, and within 6 months that income surpassed his main job. The opportunity wasn't absent, his language had kept it outside the door. Beyond language, there are thinking traps. The most fatal mindset among the poor is the victim mentality. Everything is someone else's fault, the boss, the economy, the family, placing oneself in a powerless role. Wealthy people adopt a responsibility mindset. They hold themselves accountable. If you have responsibility, you can take action to change things. This mindset grants enormous power. Former U.S. and first.com. President Barack Obama wrote that his grandfather told him, when you blame others, you give up the power to make yourself better. That's the essence of responsibility thinking. Warren Buffett didn't become a stock market legend solely because he understood investing. He developed an extremely rational thinking habit. He never blames the market, he reflects on his own decisions. From today, code your life like a programmer. Monitor your language and replace limiting, complaining, or blame, shifting phrases with proactive, accountable ones. This habit costs nothing and offers the highest return among all wealthy habits. Let's summarize the 3 core points of wealthy habits. First, habits are the autopilot that steers your destiny. Your financial state today is the sum of your past habits. Second, the wealthy rely on design, not sheer persistence. They arrange environments and processes to make good habits effortless and bad habits hard. Third, language shapes thought, and thought shapes destiny. Change your speech to change your thinking, and ultimately change your life. Wealth is not an outcome, it's a process. It's not a 100-meter sprint, but a marathon composed of daily small habits. Change is painful, but staying the same condemns you to long-term pain. The choice lies in the first habit you choose when you wake up each day. If this video gave you even a small insight, share it with the people you care about most, those you hope will also prosper or save it, and revisit it monthly to check whether your autopilot has drifted. One person becoming rich is admirable, but lifting the people around you is the real achievement.